Hello and welcome to Marketing Storytime with Momo. I am Momo, so welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If this is your first time here, thank you. Welcome. Do well and subscribe below. If you're a returning viewer and you're not yet subscribed, why are you not yet subscribed? Please subscribe. Um, so you can get my weekly notifications. I do videos weekly on marketing, on all things marketing. And I know marketing, I always say marketing is not the most interesting topic, but if you have an organization, you're trying to grow your organization, I try to break down marketing topics in a very, very simple way. So, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. So, like I always say, grab a cup of coffee, grab a cup of tea, and grab a cup of water. Let's have this chit chat. It's not going to be a long chit chat at all. Today, I have some yogurt here. So, grab yours, whatever it is you're comfortable drinking. Let's have this discussion. Okay? So, welcome. And once again, make sure you subscribe. So, thank you. Today we're going to be talking about something. Last week I had my friend on the show, the amazing entrepreneur. I love her so much. She's my business mentor. She's always giving me advice. She will send me messages in the middle of the night like, Momo, do this and do that, and we go back and forth. I had her on the show, Cozy Fawemi. She is the founder of Loud Shawarma in the DMV area in Maryland. Yes, DC, DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia area. So if you're in that area, please do well and visit her. And when you visit her, tell her that Momo sent you there, okay? So thank you. Her, and also she created an app called Now SOS. Please, it's in my last week's video in the description box, and I will put them in the description box again. Download the app. May we never be in need, of an emergency. At least let them be able to track us. So download Now SOS app. And if you're in the DMV area, once again, please do well and stop by her store. Okay? All right. So welcome. Last week when we had the show, Cozy and I talked about different things, but she brought up a topic and I got so many comments about marketing and branding. And some people were saying, is there a difference between marketing and branding? And I was like, oh my God, yes, they're worlds apart. So, yes, there is a major difference. She did say it that, that she got that from me. She learned that from me. So I wanted to, when people started reaching out to me, I was like, okay, maybe it's something we should really need to talk about marketing and branding. That what's the difference? So let's talk about it. Branding is who you are. Who are you? That's your brand. Okay? Marketing is how you communicate that brand to people. It's visibility. It's what people see. How they, people, they will say perception is reality, right? Your brand is your perception, creates a perception. So it makes them say, oh, okay, this is who Momo is, or that's who Momo is, or anything of that nature. While marketing, it creates visibility. It helps you put your business, like who you are, out there. So I'll give you an example. You start a business, and in that business, you create a product. Let's use this cup for example. After creating that product, part of branding is the perception, is the customer experience, the identity, the emotional connection, and the positioning. That's branding. However, marketing is about, how will I put it? Marketing is helping you introduce this cup to the world, to say, okay, we have this cup. This is where you can find it. This is what you can do. Marketing, as like I've said in one of my previous topics, marketing helps sales, to position the brand properly. Now, I want to say this. I've said it before and I'll say it again today. Branding is not just your logo. Let me say for the people at the back to hear. Branding is not just your logo. It is part of it. It's part of what people know. It's your colors, it's your logo, it's your design. However, that's not the only thing branding is. And a lot of times, people mistake the two. They use branding and marketing interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Like I said, marketing positions you, it puts you out there, it announces who you are. So marketing is like your adverts, what people see, the adverts out there. Branding, a very good example of branding is your customer experience, right? How you make people feel when they come into your store, or they buy something from your website, or they reach out to you on WhatsApp, like we said a few weeks ago. And I hope you're using WhatsApp for business now, you know. So your brand is what people believe about your business when you're not in the room. So that's your brand, right? Is what people say. So I know from there are sometimes that people mention one business and you'll be like, if you go there, they will treat you well. Or, they will follow up, they will do this, they will do that. That is your brand. That's how you make people feel. So that is what branding is that perception. Like when people are talking about you, they'll say, oh, if you go to, XYZ, they'll make you feel welcome. They'll, they take customer experience very, very serious. And I've always said, I think I'm going to do a topic on customer experience, because customer experience is vital to most businesses. So, let's talk about it in another episode. I don't want to go too deep into it today. So marketing is visibility, it's communication, it's visibility, it's promotion, it's engagement. It's how businesses attract attention, right? Like I said, it's an announcement, it's adverts, it's what people are, word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best form of marketing. That's what they say in the business world. You can never buy that. Like I said, trust is something that you earn. You can't buy it, right? So marketing helps with building that, helps you along those lines. So um, marketing should answer, how do people discover us? How do people discover us? How do we communicate value? And most importantly, how do we attract customers, right? So adverts, post on digital posts and things like that. That's what marketing is. Like, so in this day and age, digital marketing is the way forward. So a lot of people say, how do we announce who we are? It's through digital, it's through marketing, and that can be digital or traditional. Traditional means radio, TV, what we used to do in the old, like I'll say back in the days. But in this new day and age, we have so many AI applications, and we have, digital. So that's the way we announce who we are in this day and age. So the most important part is that, you know, branding without marketing, uh, if you don't have marketing, they can never discover your brand, right? If you have a good product somewhere and it's just sitting, it's like saying you have something in your room, you have an outfit in your room, right? And it's just in the closet. Nobody knows it's there. You don't even know it's there, and then it's just there. So it's just gonna be there. So what marketing does is to help you announce that outfit and say, oh, don't forget, I'm here. So branding without marketing is like that. You need marketing to promote your brand. You don't need you don't you have to use both of them work together, right? So you have a brand, you've created a brand, you've done all this work. That's another thing I want to say. You can't do all that work in branding and then not utilize marketing. You have to push it. You have to announce the product out there. You have to put it out there in front of people. That's what marketing does for you. So also it works the opposite way. Marketing without branding, you cannot just go and sell something without putting your brand out there, because it becomes a common product, right? So, for example, you have this cup, there's nothing, there's no name, there's no identity. If you want to tell someone to go and buy, you just say, "Oh, help me get a cup." That means they can go into the market and get any cup, right? Yes. But if you have branding, for example, this on it, and you tell them, "Oh, help me go get XYZ cup from the market," that is what a brand does. It creates identity. It makes you more noticeable. It makes you stand out, which is what a lot of people need in their businesses. So a lot of businesses do marketing, but they don't have branding. And a lot of businesses have branding, but they don't invest in their marketing. Like I said last week, marketing is an investment. You need to invest in it, okay? And it's not something you should take lightly. Marketing without branding creates noise. Like I said, if you have this cup and you go out there, you just say, "Oh, go to the store and get me a cup." You're just going to walk around the store and get any cup, right? So that's what marketing without branding does, you know. And branding without marketing creates invisibility, not visibility, invisibility. Like I said, they won't know you have this cup, right? They won't know who owns it or who made it. So that's what they do for each other and all that good stuff. Um, you own a business. Branding is customer experience. It's how you make your clients feel. I love good customer experience. I know I lived in the US for a long time. My sister always says it. If she walks into a store and she doesn't get good customer service, she's always like, "I'm not going back to that store again. They have terrible customer experience." And guess what? She never goes back there. And I'm with her on that. I'm very big on customer experience as well. It's packaging, it's the way you package. I have a Gary business. I wish I brought one here to show you guys. And a lot of people tell me, they're like, "Oh my God, they love my packaging." That is customer experience. That is branding. That is packaging. Consistency. You know, we talked about that. You have to be consistent in everything you're doing. And perception is the greatest one. And like they always say on, out there, that perception, people's perception is their reality. So the way I perceive something is what I feel is real out there. So branding helps to determine who the customers trust, who they remember, and most importantly, who they will return to. So if you're having challenges, always look into that. Like, what is my brand communicating to people? How are they viewing me? What are they viewing? What are they saying? And what is the customer experience I'm giving to people out there? So, like I said before, your brand is not just your logo. Your logo is very important, but it's not just your logo. And um, you always have to make a strong announcement. I'm going to bring my Gary package here so you can see the packaging. You can see, the brand. I took some time to work on that brand. I created the brand and it's very eye-catching. So that's what branding does. Now, marketing is adverts. I think I advertise my Gary business almost every day, as much as I can, anyways. So that's what marketing does. That's the difference between marketing and that's the difference between branding. Okay. Um, if branding is the personality of the business, marketing is the conversation about the business. So, you know, your personality is your brand, Like people will say to me, "Mom is this, mom is that, or X is this and X is that." That conversation they're having about it is the marketing, which is very, very important. Marketing will attract customers because they will hear about it through word of mouth or adverts or anything of that nature. But branding is what keeps them. And remember, I said part of branding is customer experience. So that is very important because visibility alone does not create loyalty. That's something I want to point out. Visibility alone does not create loyalty. Remember that. Do well and remember that. Perception does. And then finally, what I will say is people may buy because of marketing, but they stay because of branding. I think I should end on that note, right? Yes, let's end right there. So people may buy because of marketing, but they stay and they become repeat customers because of your branding. Okay? So I hope with these few words of mine, I've been able to convince you and not confuse you that branding and marketing are two different things, but they work hand in hand. So if your business is struggling today, check your branding, check your marketing. And if you still are struggling or you don't know how to move forward, please contact Momo's Marketing Consulting. We are a strategic marketing firm that help businesses like yours to grow their business. Okay? All right. Thank you and God bless. See you next week. Bye.